Islam doesn't merit being invited to debate. They don't merit engagement. They only merit ridicule. They don't recognize my and your right to free speech. And without that commonality, what is there even to talk about? As usually, as always happens when talking to adherents to Islam, what becomes involved is the idea of the stolen concept. Philosophy professor Leonard Peikoff defined that as follows. The stolen concept fallacy is the fallacy of using a concept while denying the validity of its genetic roots, i.e., of an earlier concept on which it logically depends. Last summer, in the Objective Standard, publisher Craig Biddle had an important article retitled Religion versus Free Speech. In part, he writes in there, no matter how people choose to interpret the holy books or cherry pick from God's commands, the basic principle of religion remains. God's word is the fundamental law. He is to be obeyed by all people at all times without question or exception. Those who violate his law in any way, to any extent, are sinners. And those who dare to insult or second-guess God, those who commit blasphemy or heresy or the like, are beyond redemption and deserve the corresponding punishment. Deserve the corresponding divinely ordained punishment, death. Adherents of Islam think that I should die. I think that I should live. At what point do we have common ground for discussion? One of the basic issues discussed in Biddle's article is what is the source of our rights? And in that question, people like President Bush and former Speaker Newt Gingrich have a lot in common with the adherents of Islam in thinking that rights come from God. However, a rational basis of rights demonstrates that they are a dictate of reality as a necessity to human life in a social setting. Towards the end of his article, Biddle says, the tenets of religion are incompatible with the right to free speech. The only way to mix the two in one's mind is to take neither of them seriously. But not taking religious seriously does not change what religion is, or says, or means. And not taking freedom of speech seriously does not alter the fact that it is a fundamental requirement of human life. The right to free speech is the recognition of the fact that in order for people to live together peacefully, they must be free to express their thoughts, regardless of what others think, feel, or just believe. We need freedom of expression, and to establish and maintain it, we must repudiate religion and embrace the rational foundation of rights. In summary, Muslims, as most theists, repudiate the right to free speech. That is a basis for engagement in any rational discussion. And until they can do so, they have no place at the table. I, for one, have the self-esteem to refuse to grant them the sanction of the victim.